Hey everybody, welcome to Module 2, Analyzing Rhetoric, and here I am outside my backyard. It's kind of nice out here, the sun's starting to go down, there's a chipmunk around here somewhere. And the question, I guess, is what is rhetoric? Rhetoric, the definition is very simple, but it's pretty big. Rhetoric is the use of language to influence somebody, either emotionally or intellectually, or to influence them to do something. And be careful, because when I say language, I don't just mean written or verbal language. There's also visual language. For instance, I sat outside for a reason. I have put my head off center for a reason. If you look at a lot of photographs or video interviews of people on TV, they're quite often off center. It's considered, the great rhetorical thing to do. It's edgy. It's supposed to add drama. So anyway, just to reiterate, rhetoric is the use of language to influence somebody. And you always have to be careful when you read something or watch something or listen to something, because you are being manipulated every time. Um, Usually, hopefully, you want to be. Sometimes you don't know what's happening, but you should know what's happening, and you should also know how to do it yourself. Um, Three things you need to know, three uh, terms and concepts you need to know about rhetoric. They're ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos means good character. Ethos comes from your conscience. The person who's trying to convince you or talk to you or write to you, you have to trust that person. You have to trust either that they're an expert about what they do, that they have experience about what they're doing, um, and also that they have your best interest at heart, and you have to believe that they're a good person. That's ethos. Okay. Logos means reasoning and logic. Logos appeals to your brain. It's things like statistics and using history, using experts, which you're going to be doing a lot of in your writing. That's logos. It's trying to influence somebody by appealing to their reason. And unfortunately, logos is the least effective of the ways of persuasion, which brings me to number 3, which is pathos, which means appealing to your heart and appealing to your emotions. If you go to the movies, certainly. If you listen to music, if you like to read poetry like I do, you will realize how important that is. You can get someone to change their mind by appealing to their emotion. You see it quite a lot. It can be quite destructive if it's done for the wrong reasons. So here in this module, we're going to be analyzing rhetoric. I've got it broken down into written rhetoric, visual rhetoric, and music and dance. The actual textual analysis for this module has come from a written rhetoric assignment, because that's what we're doing. But the other things I'd like you to look at, and there's a lot of video here in this module, and I'd really like you to take a look at them. I think it'll teach you a lot about what rhetoric is. And remember, whenever you read something, remember that it's written in words. It's not written in ideas. Even though you're reading for the idea, what's getting that across is the words and the language itself. And that's what you have to look at if you want to be a good writer. You need to look at what it is that's in front of your face. I can't stress that enough. For example, the Module 2 assignment, I'm going to ask you to compare 2 articles. Compare the rhetoric of 2 articles. And I don't want to know your personal opinion on the topic necessarily. I want to know what you read, what you're looking at. That's the crucial thing. If you can get this down, if you can get this as a habit, you can write anything in college. This is something that your professors do without even thinking about it. I think most of us even forget that we ever had to learn how to do this ourselves. I know I forget. And I can't hold it against you if you're not comfortable doing this. But get used to it. Get used to looking closely. Get used to picking things apart. And bottom line, remember that everyone has an agenda. Anything you read, I don't care where it comes from, anything you hear, I don't care who tells it to you, Even me, um, don't just accept it as fact all the time. You have to know where it's coming from. Like I like to say, if someone walks up to you whom you don't know and gives you something in a glass and tells you to drink it, would you drink it? No. You know, you're going to want to know a few things. You're going to want to say, who are you? What's in it? And why do you want me to drink it? That's exactly the same thing that you should do whenever you read something. Always find out who wrote this and why. Everyone has an agenda. Remember when I was in grad school, I was obsessed with finding the objective truth. When I was doing my research for my paper, and I said it to my advisor, I said, well, I have, how do I find the objective truth? And he laughed, basically, and said, there probably isn't any. And I was really confused at the time. I had no idea what that meant. I thought that the truth was out there and that I could find it. Well, now I know better. It's just a series of opinions, a series of attitudes, a series of perspective. Everyone has a different perspective just because we all live differently. No one experiences life in the same way as anybody else. You know, we're born alone, we live alone, and we die alone, essentially. So whenever you're reading, again, the most important thing at this stage in your career is not to read for the idea so much as read for the author. What she's saying, where she's coming from. It's same thing when you're watching a movie. You know, when you find yourself crying in the movie or laughing, and you know, say, well, what caused this? What the heck? Okay. So keep that in mind. And if I'm going to ruin movie viewing for you for the rest of your life, I'm sorry, not sorry, because it's going to have to happen eventually. And if it's a good movie, it doesn't matter. You can pick it apart and still laugh and cry at it, and you'll love it even more. So let's move on. I'll scan down the readings, and we'll look at the assignments and the discussion boards. And we've got 2 weeks for this module, so try to have a little fun with it. Nobody's opinion is going to be right or wrong about anything. Just look carefully. As long as you look carefully and pick out details, that's all I ask. All right, so let's move on.